Well, hey everybody. Welcome to the update stream. This is Bugs here. I'm joined today by Artemis and Miss D. Say hi, guys.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, guys.
So, what do we got going on today? Well, it is Forced Wipe. It is first Thursday. And so, with that, in about 1 hour, we've got this update going live. It will force a map wipe across the board on all servers. There is no forced blueprint wipe today, although, if we're talking Rustafied servers, all Rustified servers do choose to wipe blueprints with the exception of medium threes and long threes. And actually now Zenlabs as well has switched to no blueprint wipes for Rustified servers. But all other Rustified servers will be wiping blueprints when the update and map wipe hits, once again in just about an hour. Now, as always, we're going to go through what is coming in this update. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to do at Misty_that's me in chat, and we'll get to as many questions as we have the opportunity to. So let's get into it. First and foremost, let's switch this NightLight on and let's show off one of the big features of this update, which is the NightLight functionality. What this is, it's weird calling it a nightlight because when I was growing up, a nightlight was the thing you put like beside the bathroom in the middle of the night so you don't like stub your toe on a door jamb or something. That's a nightlight to me. This is kind of more like moonlighting to me. But anyway, we'll call it whatever we want to call it. Nightlight, moonlight. What it is something that helps you see better at night. Now, it is very subtle. It is, in fact, like a soft glow of moonlight around you. And it allows you to see, and if you're not seeing it on the stream, up your brightness a little bit because you do have to have your brightness up to even see the subtle nature of it. But what you can do with it is see a couple feet in front of you. Basically, you can make out the things a couple feet in front of you, even in the middle of the night. Now, this nightlight or moonlight is not hingent on the moon being out or any other things about like where you're looking or anything like that. So it works inside bases. It works wherever you are on the map, basically. And where you can really see it is when you look down on the ground, you can see things. You can make out the ground a bit more than you previously could. And also, when you're aiming down sight with a weapon, you can actually like make out the weapon a little bit more, therefore allowing you to make out the sights a little bit more and making it much more usable at night to be able to just make out what's around you a little bit. Now, this is made up by a couple CVARs on the server side. There's actually 3 CVARs with regards to brightness, distance, and fade. So this can be changed by the server owner. So if you hop in a server at one point and it looks like you got night vision on, it's just because they tweaked the CVARs of this. It can be like toned way, way up, basically giving people night vision. But once again, that's a server side setting. The cool thing about this nightlight functionality is by design, it should limit the ability for people to use gamma hacks or anything like that. So it really is only making the things kind of directly in front of you visible. And even if you twerk up the gamma like crazy, you're not seeing anything more. It's just that subtle illumination right around you. And yeah, and this is the case for everything in the game at night. So when you're in your base, you can make out boxes. If you don't have glowy boxes and stuff, you can make your way around a lot easier. And yeah, you can just find your way around a bit better than previously you could. So that's a cool little thing. That's Nightlight. And we'll show this off a little bit more as we go through the stream and stuff like that. And feel free to ask questions. But that's one of the main features coming in the update today is this nightlight or moon lighting, as I like to call it. Now, another thing we got going on is for the newbies coming into the game. And this is something that's been worked on for a number of months, and then we're actually seeing it go live today. And that is Tutorial Island. Now, originally I thought this Tutorial Island stuff was going to be its own separate server. Like, I thought Facepunch would put up their own official servers that were tutorial servers, and you would join as a new player and just be put on your own little tutorial island. That, in fact, is not the case. In fact, what it is Tutorial Island is baked into the game. And so any server can have a tutorial island or a number of tutorial islands. And this is controlled by actually a CVAR that's something like Activate Tutorial Island or something like that. It looks like by default, only official servers might have Tutorial Island activated on it as of today. But based on what we're seeing, it looks like if you, as a server owner, want to turn on Tutorial Island, you can. Now, we have noticed there are some weird things with getting in and out of the tutorial island that can have some server impacts. Some of that has been resolved, thankfully, from what we were seeing on the staging branch, but it does look like maybe there are some things still at play. So, if in doubt, if you've got tutorial island on and you're a server owner and it's messing up and your frames go to nothing or whatever, you might just want to turn tutorial island off for a bit because that could be a cause of performance issues based on our testing. But overall, it's a really cool functionality that should help new people get better at the basics of the game. So, how it works is if Tutorial Island is turned on for your server, when you join, basically, and when you spawn, it's going to pop up and basically say, hey, do you want to start a tutorial? And you can decline and opt out of it, or you can start the tutorial. If you do start the tutorial, you kind of go into another loading zone and then you spawn on your own private little island. It's completely separate from the rest of the Rust Island. There's no other people there. You basically start on this little island with an NPC sitting on a helicopter crash site. And it's kind of goes through this thing of like, oh shit, where are we? We crashed. Are you okay? Okay. Yeah, you're okay. I'm hungry. Okay. Let's get some food and some shelter. And through the mission system of the game, essentially, that we already know if you've played any missions in the game, it uses that same system to work with this mysterious stranger sitting at the helicopter site who I guess is immobilized and can't move. And you got to help him, bring him some chicken, and then you build a 2x2 and you upgrade the 2x2 to wood. And then you go through the process of killing a bear and getting a furnace and a workbench. And eventually, what you do once you've gone through a bunch of these different things, gathered some stuff, built some stuff, you basically get a you craft a kayak. Sorry, part of me is that my brain completely farts, but you craft a kayak and a paddle and stuff, and you go, you put it in the water. And spoiler alert, you get in the water, you start rowing to shore, and two ribs full of blue scientist NPCs roll up on you and they kill you, and then you spawn back on the beach on the normal island with everybody else. And voila, you're done with the tutorial. Ideally, as a new player, you know some more of the basic fundamentals of the game. And then once you're done with the tutorial, you shouldn't be asked to do the tutorial again because it kind of marks CVAR on your end saying, hey, tutorial is complete. Now, if you want to redo the tutorial or anything like that, you can go in the options menu and say start tutorial. It gives you a little warning about any sleeping bags you might have on the main island or anything like that. But you can redo the tutorial again if you so choose. But it takes about 15-20 minutes to complete. If you've played the game before, it's really going to be unnecessary because it's all very, very basic stuff that you probably already know. But if you got some new friends joining the game and you don't want to hold their hand through the first, I don't know, couple distinctions of the game, then you can just send them through the tutorial, and 20 minutes later, ideally, they know what they're doing and they can be a valuable team member. So that is what's going on Tutorial Island. Once again, it looks like this might only be going live on official servers. And it does also look like if you choose to, as a not official server, as a server owner, you can probably turn it on with the like enable tutorial or tutorial enabled command. If you don't know if you're looking for commands, just in the console, just do find tutorial and you can see all the commands about it. And then oh, that's interesting. I saw a client update go live. Oh, but that is not the full client update going live. That's just on the release candidate. Okay, cool. But it does look like this update is moving forward on time, and we should see it go live in the next half hour to, let's say, 50 minutes. But yeah, so that's Tutorial Island. You can take it once and then it won't ask you again. You can take it again if you so choose, but it's just covering the basic stuff of the game. Now, also, we got some stuff going on with UI updates. Specifically, there's some UI updates to the vendors on the in-game map, and this is going to be the vendors that are baked into the map along with the player created vending machines. And then there's some item store UI updates as well that we'll show you. But first, let's show off the vendor UIs. Now, what this update did was basically one, it's much clearer. It's laid out a lot better, I think, and just much cleaner to see. So that's great. And then also, what it did is for clusters of vendors, when you've got a couple of vendors right on top of each other, it handles that much better with the UI as it as like a scrolling and accordion type of thing that you can do. So if you're clicking into multiple vendors, then you can just scroll down that store screen, that store UI on the left, and you can, in accordion fashion, expand or minimize them. So just a much improved UI for that vendor in-game map stuff. And once again, that is for the vendors on the map and for the vending machines that players create. And then also, along the same vein of UI updates, we've got the item store has been updated. Now, this is the item store in the game escape menu. So when you click on escape and then you go to item store, you can see it's been improved. Now, it has a similar look for the main view, but then when you click into an item, you can see they've added some details to it. They've improved the overall layout of it. And then if you see it loads this three-dimensional like spinny view of the model, which is something we've seen for the Twitch drops on the twitch.facepunch.com website. But this has just been added to the in-game UI as well. So you can kind of get a better feel of what the skin looks like that you're buying or what the item that you're buying looks like, as opposed to just looking at one two-dimensional image of it. You can actually see the three-dimensional image of it scroll. Now, some of these 3D scrolling views do seem to bog out. I was thinking maybe that was an issue with staging, and maybe it still is. But a lot of them do show. The other cool thing with this UI store update is with regards to the DLC packs, it has a much better view of what you're getting with the DLC pack. So if you click into like the building skin DLC, you can see a bunch of screenshots of it. And if you click into like the decor pack or whatever, you can see the three-dimensional spinning views of each item you get in that DLC pack. So it's just a better representation built into the game of what you get with these DLCs and with these items. So it's looking really nice, and that is going live with the update today as well. Now, there's also a bunch of fixes and various things going in. There's a full list on Rustafied.com. And as always, our article today on Rustafied.com summarizes all of what's coming in the update in text and pictures, so you can use that as reference. But basically, to go through some of these fixes, you'll notice the barrels around the map that the textures were looking a little weird and everything like that. Those barrels have been fixed texture-wise, and they have some labels on it with regards to like recycling decals and stuff like that. So you're going to see some more details with the various barrels around the map. They fixed some stuff with both friends and non-friends having blue names. So that friend UI had a bug in it. That's fixed. They fixed the blackjack UI when leaving the game when you're the only player. That was screwing up. They fixed some ground bleed stuff with large furnaces. They fixed holstered weapons not updating when dropping and picking up backpacks. They fixed a map marker disappearing when deleting a single one. They fixed some stuff with the CNY, the Chinese New Year spear, not working with weapon racks. There was some stuff going on with the pipe tool and the industrial pipe stuff, not resuming the entirety of the piping structure you were doing. So that's been resolved. And they fixed some stuff with the wire tool color, and orange pipes were looking blue, and the card color was always appearing green when you were holding a key card, and now that's resolved as well. So a bunch of miscellaneous fixes going in today. Once again, the full list, or ideally notable list at least, is on Rustafied.com. There's also a bunch of other stuff. You might be looking down at the hotbar and say, "Oh, there's numbers for each of the slots on the hotbar now." Yes, there is. So you can easily look and see, oh, 3 or 4, whatever. I don't know how necessary that is, but it's nice actually. It's a nice little quality of life thing. They also did add a rangefinder for binoculars. So when you are looking down a binocular or down the binoculars in the view, you can actually make out the distance away the thing is that you're looking at in meters. So it'll show, oh, that's, for instance, 30 meters away. And then you can use that to, communicate with your teammates or whatever. And that rangefinder has a max distance of 999 meters, as you would imagine. And just a nice little quality of life thing for the binoculars to have that rangefinder in there now. Also, the item crafter now checks to ensure conditional items have condition above 0 to use them to craft other things. So that's just some fixes to the crafter. They also did some tweaks to the patrol helicopter behavior, it looks like. So it looks like the patrol helicopter is going to be strafing a little different and potentially going down, like when it's out of health, it'll crash a little different, it looks like. And it's got some variations with the rocket strafing in how it's targeting and how many rockets it's going to send out. So it's just kind of making the patrol helicopter a little more dynamic from the looks of the commits that we saw. There's also an added UI, color UI, when assigning a player to a bag or turrets, which is nice. And finally, the attack helicopter got a little nerf here when it comes to the flares, because the flares can only be fired once every 30 seconds. And with this addition on the attack helicopter, they added some indicator lights and a sound to let you know when the flares are ready again. So that is another thing. Now, I don't want to step over the obvious, where if you looked when it was daytime, you might have noticed some of my compadres here wearing chicken skins. And this is a cool new outfit. It is not going live today. It looks like part of the upcoming Easter event. And I imagine the Easter event, given Easter is at the end of the month, will be going live with probably the Thursday of the 28th this month, I would guess. But you got a cool chicken skin coming in for Easter. This will probably be available on the item store later this month. But it's definitely a funny looking skin. It makes a little sound as you're walking and everything. Yeah, it's a cute little skin. Once again, not going live today, but look forward to it later in the month for, I imagine, the Easter event. So yeah, pretty cool. And a couple things going on with Rustafied. One, Zenlabs is actually shifting off of our custom map rotation for a little while. We're taking a break from the custom maps because the overall macro state of custom maps is unfortunately not in a great state right now. Rust Edit and various other things that you probably don't care about are having some causing some issues with having us being able to run custom maps in a smooth fashion. And so each wipe, we were having issues where we'd have to go in and manually fix things in these maps and all this stuff. And it's just kind of an overall reflection of the state of custom map making at this moment. I do expect it to change in several months or later this year. And so this is a temporary thing. But for the time being, we're going to let go of doing custom maps on Zenlabs. We're going to switch the Zenlab servers over to a PvP oriented small proc gen map with lower population, 150 pop, small map. And we're also not going to wipe blueprints. We've had a bunch of requests for people to have blueprints not wipe every month. And so to that server, we're adding a blueprint wipe only when forced by face punch instead of every month at forced map wipe. So those are some changes going on to both EU and US Zenlab servers. And we do hope to have custom maps back at some point, maybe later this year, when that whole situation is in a better place. But in the meantime, we're just going to stick with some PvP oriented proc gen small maps. And yeah, that's about what's going on in the update today. Once again, the update is expected to come out on time, which is 2 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. GMT. Generally speaking, we see the server update come out about 20 minutes before that, and then we'll see the client update hit about 10, 15 minutes after that, and the dev blog go live. And that's when we say the update is officially live. So we are on track for an update in the next half hour to 40 minutes. In the meantime, Miss D, do we have any questions from the audience?
We have a lot actually. Um, but let's try. Let's start with when is Web.
So it is first Thursday of the month. And so the wipe happens when the update comes out. And the update does force a map wipe. And this is the case with every first Thursday of every month. Now, it was a weird month last month with the leap year and 5 Thursdays in February, which basically like never happens. So a lot of people, I think, were expecting the force wipe and update to hit last week. But that's not the case because last Thursday was still February. So it is the 7th of March, first Thursday, and with that, the update should hit within the next half hour to 40 minutes, and that will force a map wipe across the board. Once again, no forced blueprint wipe, but many servers, including most Rustafied servers, do choose to wipe the blueprints along with the force map wipe. So check with your local Discord if you're unsure.
Let me see here. I saw a lot of people asking if Artemis, can you try and see if you can see the X on the tree at night with the new light?
Yeah, sure, no worries.
Yeah, a lot of people was asking that.
And I'm going to put the convar in chat for turning on the tutorial or turning off the tutorial. It's server.tutorial enabled, one word, and then you can say false or true after that. So
Oh,
if you
yeah, yeah.
do want to turn,
Oh, sorry, Mike's gone.
no, that's okay. But yeah, if you are a server owner and you want to turn the tutorial on, you can do so with that CVAR tutorial enabled, and then you just say true.
And yeah, for sure, you can see the X on the tree now as well, right?
That's nice.
Very nice and good question.
Yeah. Mm. So I also see several people asking if you can see other players that they have the light around them.
So you can't
Well,
see the light, so that we can't see your name tag, and I'll show you the distance.
Interesting.
and yeah, I can stand outside as well in case you want to.
Perfect.
And can you show off the ping system and if it's being added on this wipe?
The what system?
Ping system with the binos, I believe.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's been in for a while. I don't think anything has changed on that. What is that?
Yeah,
Like center click when you're looking through the binoculars?
yeah, that's right. Yep.
Does the nightlight work in caves?
Yeah, the nightlight basically, from what we were seeing, works everywhere. So if you're in your base with no windows or anything, it works there. It's not like hingent on some external light source. So yeah, it was working in caves as well.
Can you, okay, I guess you already answered this, but some new maybe came in. Can you turn up the gamma to see any further?
No, how this was designed, and Helk told me this specifically. He said it was designed to make it so people can't gamma hack it. So, kind of how it works is it literally does only illuminate a very small bit in front of you, like a couple feet. And after that, it's all blacked out anyway. So, if you were to hike your gamma, basically you're only going to be able to see like the couple feet in front of you that has been made visible. And specifically, they design this so that gamma hacking wouldn't work. So if you turn up your gamma, it's not like you're going to be able to see farther in front of you. It literally is just a couple feet in front of you that's even slightly illuminated, and after that, it all blacks out anyway.
Can you guys add more radio stations for the boombox?
We can't personally because we're not developers of the game, but you can add your own custom radio stations, right? So
I was just here. And again, what is command to turn on and off the tutorial island?
Yeah, that was just server.tutorial enabled. And that tutorial enabled is one word. And then if you want it enabled, say true. And then if you want it disabled, and it's by default false. So by default, it's going to be off on pretty much all servers. It looks like you can just do tutorial enabled false, and that will have it turned off.
And I assume when people ask if you can see it if you wear the lights, that's also on the ocean, like at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, let's see how the moonlight or this nightlight stuff is affecting underwater, if at all.
Yep, sure.
And also, Artemis, are you able to see the sparks on the nodes?
Not the sparkles on the nodes, no, unfortunately.
So we can see the X on the trees, but not the sparkles on the nodes.
That makes
Indeed,
sense.
yeah.
Hmm. Let me see here. Oh, they say they can barely hear me.
Oh,
I
can we
just saw
turn
that.
Miss D up a little bit?
Yeah, give me a sec. We'll turn out.
I don't want to blow everyone's ears out.
I'm sure you'll be okay.
How do we get the chicken?
The chicken is going to be part, it looks like, of the Easter event coming later this month. I think that's probably going to go live on the 28th of this month, which is the last Thursday of the month, given Easter's at the end of the month. So it is on staging now, but it's not going to be available for obtainment until later in the month, it looks like, as part of the Easter event.
So to confirm, yeah, it doesn't look like the moonlight is affecting underwater, which would be expected, I guess.
Yeah, so you're not seeing better underwater. And can you run into a cave real quick and just confirm? I'm pretty sure I went into a cave and saw moonlight, but
Yeah, I can confirm. Yeah, for the caves that you have got it. Yep.
okay, cool. But yeah, the water is very dark at night, as I guess you would expect.
Is new accounts forced to do the tutorial island?
No, you can opt out of the tutorial if you want. How it works basically is if you join a server that has tutorial enabled and you haven't done the tutorial yet, then you'll get this kind of modal window that pops up the second you spawn on the beach and it says, "Hey, we notice you haven't done the tutorial. Do you want to do the tutorial?" And you can just say no. And then it changes the thing to say that you opted out of the tutorial and then it doesn't ask you again. If you want to, for whatever reason, you opted out of the tutorial and you want to do it, there is an option in the escape menu options to start the tutorial, reset your tutorial status, so to speak, and then next time you respawn, you'll be prompted to do the tutorial again. But by no means do you have to do the tutorial.
When is the new TC layout coming? Or UI, I guess.
I'm not sure. They were working on this new skin for the tool cupboard that was going to have apparently a screen on it, like the vending machine, so you could see the upkeep on the tool cupboard without looking at your UI or clicking into it. That doesn't look like it's making it in for this update. It's still in progress. There's a bunch of stuff still in progress. So this by no means what's coming out in this update today does by no means represent the entirety of what the devs are working on. There's a bunch of monument reworking going on. There's a bunch of various other things. They started work on bikes this month as well. They are not coming in yet, but maybe next month, maybe the following, we'll see this new vehicle type come in, and it's going to be bikes. So that's definitely something we're going to keep a close eye on as well.
Is there an option to disable the numbers under the hotbar?
I have not seen that, but it would make sense if
It'd
there
be nice,
was.
wouldn't it? Yeah.
It would be a nice
Yeah.
HUD option to be like, hey, get rid of those numbers. Because, yeah, I don't think a lot of people are going to need those numbers.
Yeah. Is there any idea what the wallpapers are that the Rust commits?
No, I'm not sure. That might just be, when you're loading into the server and it shows different screenshots and stuff when you're loading in, it might just be that, I think. I'm not sure if it's anything different, but that was kind of my sense of it.
me see here. Is is there a way to put moonlight really bright?
Well, so the Moonlight is controlled by three server CVARs. So the only way to change it is if you're the server owner, and then you'll change it on that specific server. So as a player, you can't change it at all. You can update your monitor brightness and everything, but that's not really going to change anything much with regards to the distance you can see. It might help you see the illuminated um, stuff a little better, but it's not going to change the difference. But if you are a server owner, there are three server commands that you can change. If you look up, I think it's just SV find NightLight. You can see them pretty easily. When you do SV and then find in the console, it looks for server specific commands. And then it'll show there's a command for brightness, distance, and fade, I believe. And so if you modify those as a server owner, you can basically, if you want to, you can give everyone essentially like night vision. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some community servers or modded servers saying like, "Hey, brighter nights" or something like that, because it is something that a server owner can very easily change. But as a player, you can't change it. And just as a note for Rustafied servers, we're not going to change it because we're on the official list, and so we're required to stay vanilla with most of these things.
Does Rustafied US Medium 3 white blueprints today?
No, the medium three, long three, and Zenlab servers do not wipe blueprints unless forced. So if you're doing, and that's in US and EU. So any of those six servers are not going to wipe blueprints. All other Rustified servers will wipe blueprints with the update and forced wipe today. But our medium threes, long threes, and Zenlabs, both in US and EU, do not now wipe blueprints unless it is forced by face punch.
Has the moving of body bags in the safe zone been patched?
I'm not sure I saw anything with regards to that in the commits this month, so I'm gonna go with no. But I could be wrong, and there are always hidden commits that can sneak their way in. I personally have not tested it, but I'm thinking probably no.
I have a very impatient guy here asking mm, if you can
I love
change
how
the
you're making him wait
blueprints.
more.
Yeah.
He's very
Can
impatient. Let's wait for it
I think
here a
he's
minute.
asked like 6 times. Can you
Can we
change the
change it?
BP vibes on the main servers to 2 months instead of one?
Go to our Discord and put a suggestion in. If it gets a lot of upvotes, I might consider it. But people always say they don't want blueprint wipes, and then very often it'll be a month or two in, and they'll be like, "Oh, I want a fresh wipe," and they go somewhere else. So it's this kind of lose lose situation, which is why we're on a monthly schedule for most of our servers. But it is also why we have some servers that don't wipe blueprints unless forced by face punch. So we try to have the best of both worlds. I'm not sure it makes too much sense to switch it to a bi-monthly or every 2 month blueprint wipe on all the servers. It's like at that point, let's just have it wipe every month.
Can you wear the chicken suit underwater or I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Interiors? Interiors? How do you say that? Underwater?
Yeah, let's just stick with underwater. I don't know. Has that chicken suit performing underwater? It looks like it would have you floating if it
Yeah,
was.
it does. I can test it. No worries.
And then we should do a recapity cap here probably.
Yeah, let's do a recap.
Because yeah, it is first Thursday of the month, and so forced wipe and the update are incoming. It is expected at the normal time, and by all means, it looks like we are on schedule for this. So we should see the server update hit in the next 5-10 minutes, and then about 15 or so minutes after that, we'll see the client update and the dev blog come out. Man, that chicken suit underwater looks so funny.
The important questions, right?
Man, that's awesome. I feel like that chicken suit is going to be quite the seller.
Yeah.
Once again, the chicken suit is it's looking like going to be an Easter item, which will probably be available on the item store later this month. So the chicken suit is not available today, but it's on staging, so we figured we show it off a little bit because it does look awesome. But anyway, let's do a little recap here. We do have the update and Force Wipe coming in shortly. In the meantime, one of the big things coming with the update today is NightLight or Moonlight. So there's a subtle illumination around you when it is nighttime now. And this is once again, very subtle. If you're not seeing it, turn your brightness up, but you can see and make out items in front of you for a couple feet in a way you couldn't previously do. Now, this is like not hingent on the actual moon being out. It's not hingent on really anything around you. You can just see the stuff in within a couple feet in front of you. A little bit, you can make it out in a way you previously couldn't do. This does work in caves. It works inside your base as well. It does not work underwater from what we're seeing. But the cool thing is, it's also not only a great quality of life thing, but they did account for gamma hacking. And so it should be immune to people being able to gamma hack and see further or anything like that, because it really does just illuminate a couple feet in front of you. And after that, it's all blacked out. So I guess with a gamma hack, you could further illuminate the stuff that you can see in front of you, but it's not going to allow you to see farther distances. So it's kind of a very nice implementation of having some ability to see at night and make things out without opening up the floodgates for everyone using gamma hacks and sniping people at 100 meters out in the middle of the night. So that is Nightlight or Moonlight, which is coming in today, one of the main features coming in today. Now, also, we've got Tutorial Island is going live. Tutorial Island is not necessarily going to be on every server. In fact, it's off by default on servers from what we're seeing on the staging branch. But if you are a server owner, you can turn it on with the tutorial enabled command, one word, tutorial enabled true would turn it on. And if it is on the server that you join, then basically when you join, if you haven't done the tutorial yet, then the second you spawn on the beach, it'll prompt up a little modal window that says, hey, we see you haven't done the tutorial, or we see you're new here. Do you want to do a tutorial? And if you say yes, then you'll basically be hit with another loading screen and then basically wake up on your own private island. And on that island, there is a crashed helicopter and a mysterious NPC sitting there saying, oh boy, what just happened? I don't know. I think we had a helicopter crash. Are you okay? Yeah, it's like some kind of back and forth, so to speak. I think they call it a conversation. And then using the mission system in the game, which most of you are probably familiar with, it kind of leads you through the basics of the fundamentals of the game. So you got to gather some stuff. You got to gather wood and gather stone and make some tools, and then you got to make a hammer and a building plan and build a 2x2, and then you got to upgrade it and do a tool cupboard and a furnace and a workbench, and you got to kill some chickens and cook them, and then kill a bear, and then eventually what you do once you got your workbench is you craft a kayak and some paddles. You put it in the water, and then, spoiler alert, you start paddling out, and two ribs full of blue scientist NPCs show up and shoot you. Congratulations, tutorial is complete, and you respawn on the beach, and it doesn't ask you to do the tutorial again. So this is something that, for if you've been playing the game and you've done at least one wipe before, then you probably have all this information already and absolutely can skip the tutorial. But it is a very cool thing for new players of the game coming in, or if you got someone joining your group who hasn't played before, send them through the tutorial, and you won't have to show them the very, very basics of basics. Now, once again, tutorials are not on every server. If you do a tutorial and you want to do it again, you can opt to do the tutorial again in your escape menu. There's options for it. And there's also some commands if you I will mention this. If you get stuck in a tutorial, like you're in it and you want to get out, but you don't want to complete it, it looks like there's a client.has declined tutorial convar, and I'll paste it into chat. But just as a note,
Yeah, and just to add to that, I think they might have put a quit tutorial button in the main menu.
oh, that's good too. Yeah. That makes sense as well. So if you want to get out of the tutorial, you can with that CVAR, or just go into the escape menu and quit, and then you'll respawn and you won't be asked to do the tutorial again. Now, I originally thought this tutorial island stuff was going to be on separate servers, but it's not. It's actually baked into the game, and any server can have tutorial islands on it if you so choose. I think the servers with tutorials on by default are going to be the official servers. We're going to try to have them on most of our servers. But we did, I'll be honest, experience some performance issues and some weird glitches with players getting to and fro the tutorial and it screwing up some stuff. So if we have to, we will turn the tutorials off. But it's a cool feature for new players of the game. So that's tutorials, and that's a tutorial island. We've also got some UI updates coming in to move forward on this recap here. Let's see. I just got, update is out. Let's look at this. Boom. What is this? Client. Nope. Server update is out. Boom. Okay, cool. And that's right on time. So server update is out. I'll update that little thing. I'll tweet about it. And cool. So if you're unfamiliar basically with how this update release process works, what we see is the server update comes out first, and then probably 10, 15 minutes later, we see the client update and the dev blog go live. And that's when we say the update is officially live. So this is a great sign to see the server update come out now. That's right on time, if not a little early. And that is a great indicator that we're going to have an on time and smooth update and forced wipe. So that's awesome. If you are a server owner, I encourage you to go update your servers now so they're ready to go. Our systems team is going to be taking down the Rustafied servers and wiping them and updating them and everything like that. And yeah, in the meantime, I'll continue the recapity cap here. We've got some vendor UI updates. If we load the map up here, you can see that vendors on the in-game map have a new UI to see what they are selling, what they are peddling. This is both for vendors that are baked into the map, like at Bandit Camp or whatever, and for player-created vending machines as well. This UI not only looks better and is laid out in a cleaner, more eye friendly fashion, it also handles clusters of vendors much better than before, where it'll actually have a scrolling UI thing, and it has an accordion function so you can expand or minimize each vendor in that cluster, so to speak. So that's a nice little change. Also, speaking of UI stuff, the in-game item store has a new UI, has an updated UI as well. So if you hit escape and go to item store, you can see the layout is pretty similar than before, but it gives a little more information. And then it also has these cool 3D kind of spinning effects for the skins. So you're not, before buying a skin, just looking at a two-dimensional picture. You can actually see the full skin, the full item, and watch it rotate in front of you. You can see what it breaks down into and what it replaces and everything, and then purchase it nice and easily through there. On top of the 3D spinner thing, the DLC view for, say, the building skins or the frontier items has much improved as well. So for the building skins, you just see a bunch of screenshots and everything like that of what the building skin looks like in practice. And then for a DLC pack with a bunch of items in it, it actually has the 3D scrollers of each item. So you can get a real good kind of summary of what you're going to be purchasing in that DLC right in the in-game view. And then you can, of course, click buy and easily purchase it. So that's a nice update to the item store UI we're seeing go live today as well. There's been a number of fixes that have made their way in this month. We have a semi-complete list on rustafied.com if you scroll down to fixes. But a couple like highlights, you'll see the barrels have better textures now. You might have noticed after the update and force wipe last month, the barrels were like, the textures were all screwed up. So now the barrels are looking better. They even have some stickers on there. Some say like recyclable and stuff like that. They fixed some stuff with the both friends and non-friends having blue names, and Blackjack UI was screwing up when leaving the game if you're the only player. And they fixed some ground bleed on large furnaces, and some stuff with holstered weapon not updating when dropped and picking up backpacks. and some various fixes to the industrial system and the wire tools and things like that. So some nice fixes coming in today, and you can see those nice new barrel textures that have made it in as well. And then there's some miscellaneous other stuff also. The hotbar, you might notice, now has numbers on the bottom of it for each slot. We noticed that just kind of showed up on staging this month. The binocular has a rangefinder now, so when you're looking through the binoculars, you can see the amount of meters away the item that you're looking at is. So it can help you kind of call out stuff and be like, oh, hey, that guy up on the hill is 73 meters away, you know? And then there's also some tweaks to the patrol helicopter. It looks like, I think those made their way in. They were changing how the patrol heli kind of patrols around the map and how it aggroes a bit. And they added some variability to the number of rockets used in the strafing and how it goes down. Yeah, so that's cool. And what else? Oh yeah, and then the another kind of sizable one is the attack helicopter has been nerfed a little bit when it comes to flares. The attack heli can only drop flares once every 30 seconds. And then, in addition to this, they added indicator lights and a sound for when the flares are ready to fire again. So that's a slight little nerf for the attack helicopter, specifically with the flares. And that does it. Once again, the server update is live. We expect this client update to hit anytime in the next couple minutes, and then we'll say the update is officially live. And the dev blog should follow shortly after that. But given the server update is already live, it is a good sign that we are going to see an on time update today. And it should be within the next several minutes. In the meantime, Miss D, do we have any questions from the audience we want to cover?
Yes, we do. And I think we should do a speed run because we do have a bunch.
Well, let's do it.
When is Rustafied going to sponsor a Twitch event? I want Rustafied box/store skins.
Maybe the main event that we do is the charity event each year at the end of the year. We've raised over $1.3 million with working with various charities over the past 9 years. And that event, of course, is Charitable Rust. And with that, we do have Twitch drops. And I am considering having some Rustified branded. I tend not to like put the brand out there too much. I'm like not a fan of advertising. I'm not a fan of pushing my brand on people. So I haven't really done that before because I don't know. But it does seem like it could be a thing to do. So maybe this year on the Twitch drops we'll have some Rustified branded, goodies.
Uh, Bill B has been doing bikes work. Any news?
Yeah, the bikes are exciting stuff. They started it just this past month, like 2 weeks ago, I want to say. And we're seeing that bike branch progress. It looks like they kind of started with the snowmobiles as a base and then are just modifying those to be, a bike. But definitely very excited about that new vehicle in the game. Probably not going to be in maybe next month, maybe for the April update, but it might take till May because sometimes new vehicles can take a while to get in and get right. But it's definitely an exciting thing to see, and we're going to be all on top of that. The moment those bikes get merged into staging, we'll have a full summary on Rustified.com about how they work and how you as a player can use them.
Let me see. This is a longer one. I got confused when he said that servers are not BP wiping today unless something something. Can you explain what servers are and
Yeah.
not and how that works?
Yeah, this is a little confusing, right? Because so on the first Thursday of every month, there's an update, and that's today. That's where we're at. And this update is going live like momentarily. And that update each month forces a map wipe, but it does not force a blueprint wipe. However, many servers, including most Rustified servers, choose to wipe blueprints when the map wipe hits as well. We have exceptions to that on our server lineup. So if you're playing on a medium 3, long 3, or Zenlabs server on Rustified, those do not wipe blueprints with the force map wipe. It only wipes blueprints if Face Punch forces it, which they haven't forced for like 2 years now, and they hardly ever force blueprint wipes. So if you want to keep your blueprints, and you want to play on a Rustified server, play on medium 3, long 3, or Zenlabs in either US or EU. Other than that, all Rustified servers wipe blueprints when the forest map wipe hits. And if you're wondering about other servers, it seems like the majority of community servers do wipe blueprints each month unless otherwise indicated. So even though it's not forced, it seems like most do choose to wipe blueprints each month because that's kind of one of the metas of the game right now. So I hope that clarifies it a bit. It is confusing to hear like, and we've got this AI bot we're trying to train in Discord, and man, trying to get this friggin' bot the distinction between map wipes and blueprint wipes is so hard because people are like this blueprint, and the bot gets it wrong every time because I'm like, bot, come on, there's a difference here. But anyway, it's all to say, yeah, it's confusing.
I guess this is for Artemis. Can you go into the pipes in water/airfield at daytime to see if the nightlight is visible?
Yeah, sure, no worries. I can test that.
Ooh, and client update is live. I'm gonna tweet it. Client update just hit.
Let me know when you're ready for the next question.
And boom. Well, I think we got time for like one more question, and then I got to run and
Uh-oh.
make sure our servers are getting up and updated because this update is live, everybody. If you're not seeing the client update hit yet, restart your Steam real quick or maybe verify integrity of local game cache. That normally will queue up the update, but the update is live and the server update is live. So we say the update is definitely live here.
Have they touched the night vision with the moonlight update?
I haven't noticed any changes to the night vision. I think the night vision is still the same, and we just have moonlight or nightlight in addition to it.
Oh, interesting. So it's nighttime, and I appear to have the same glow. But let me just make it daytime again. It looks
Yeah, it
like we
looks like that
lose it
glow's
at
still
day.
there.
No, no,
Oh, you
no.
lose it at day.
No.
Oh, yeah, I'm delayed here on what I'm viewing. Yeah, you
Yeah,
lose it at day.
apologies. Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Any
Very
idea
interesting.
any idea of an option to turn off seeds and grubs anytime soon? Thank you.
Turn off what?
Seeds and grubs?
Picking them
Uh,
up, I guess. Yeah.
no, I'm not aware of any option for that.
Yeah.
But we do want to wind this puppy down because the update is live. I hope you all are going to update. Restart your Steam if you're not. We're updating our servers now, and they should be coming up shortly. I want to take a moment to thank everyone for tuning in. A lot of people think we're the developers of the game or we're on the Facepunch payroll, and neither of those are correct. We are just fans of the game who run an independent organization that reports on development news and runs the best servers that we possibly can. And the only way that we can do this week after week, month after month, year after year is through the support of the community. So to everyone who watches, thank you. To people who give bits and subscribe on Twitch, thank you so much. And to our wonderful, beautiful, loyal VIP customers, thank you all so very much for your support because literally we wouldn't be able to do this without you, without your support. So much love to you all from the bottom of my heart. Also, Artemis and Misty, as always, thank you for being my co MC.
You're welcome as always.
Yep, you're more than welcome.
Beautiful. And with that, we're going to wind this puppy down, get our servers up, and enjoy an awesome forced wipe and update. And we will be back same time, same place next week to give you an update preview stream. We're here every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern to show off what is going on staging in Rust development. But in the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful week and a wonderful wipe. This is Bugs signing off.